The Ford Escort for many wasn't just a car, neither was it just an icon. This car held so many memories for people in their 50s, 60s, and if those didn't have one, they knew someone who did.
Yeah.
And this is yours, Nathan, or shall I say the family's, or
My dad's, yeah.
your dad's. And, well, we'll get straight into it then. So obviously this is a Mk1 Escort, but do you want to tell us all the stats?
Yeah, so it's a 1300E originally, which was the executive model of the Escorts.
Yeah.
You got your wood trim and your nice seats, and you got the dash clocks as well. Six-pot dash, which was the nice thing. But obviously this one's been a bit jazzed up, as we'd say. Most people notice the wheels, obviously, aren't original.
Yeah.
And you can notice the 2000E badge on the wing. It says a little bit about what's hiding under the bonnet.
So yeah, and when you came before, I looked inside and I thought this was quite obviously a luxury spec Ford Escort.
Yeah, it's nice. As I say, it's had plenty of modifications, such as the roof and stuff like that. So it's not to the purist, but as I say, as an everyday sort of car, you could everyday it because it's all modern bits and tricks on it. It's got an ECU, it's got nice brakes, Bilstein suspension.
She's set up.
Yeah, it's all right, to be fair, for one of these.
So what's the year on this then?
73. Yeah, 73 or so. Yeah, it's 1973.
So it's an early one, isn't it? So when do they start doing them?
To be honest, I wouldn't have a clue when they started. I know the shape. I know it's obviously being a square headlight, it's an earlier one, and then they went to the rounded headlights, which is the more iconic one. But as I say, they've kept the square headlights on. So I quite like it, really. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
Everyone in the 80s, as most of the viewers know, would change them out to the circles. Just to
update it a bit.
Yeah, it was just the most iconic one, wasn't it? And slap a big set of arches on it.
So the history behind this then, Nathan, how long has it been in the family?
So it's been in the family now about 3 years, I think. So it was in iconic classic auctions in the NEC. I say I knew the car originally off the lad who built it.
Yeah.
So I knew it had been built to like a high standard, and I've seen it like follow the journey through social media. So I say we knew the car, and when it come up for sale, it wasn't actually the guy who built it. It was someone he sold it to who didn't really use it. So I say we snapped up on it, and luckily it went for a price we were happy with at the time.
Well, it's in fantastic nick. It's been restored.
Yeah, I think it was done 15 odd years ago. I'm pretty certain it was a long time, but it had an awful lot of money spent. There's a massive folder there of how much went into it, and I say it exceeds the value, put it that way.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. It doesn't look like it was done 15 years ago. It looks like it was done last year or something.
Yeah.
It's been well looked after. So I think many people are wondering, why is it saying 2000E? So let's pop the bonnet so we can show everyone why it's called a 2000E.
So the reason it's called a 2000E is obviously this here. This is a later engine out of like a Mondeo or something like that, which was from like early 2000s.
2 litre Duratec.
Yeah, 2 litre Duratec engine, but obviously it's got the BDA style rocker cover to resemble the old engine.
BDA style.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd say all like retro Ford bits, which are the company who convert these as such to fit in the Escort with all the added bits. Yeah. Twin 45s, Webers, say full stainless steel exhaust. It's got catch cans hidden under the wing there, which you won't see. So it's meant to look minimalistic. All the wiring, the ECU is all hidden under the dash. So it's meant to resemble, obviously, an old engine. It looks so easy to work on, doesn't it?
Well, it's like a piece of art. It looks very good, doesn't it? Very clean. And whoever's done it has done a cracking job.
Yeah, awesome job. I say it's a 180 brake as well, so
it's
not really a slouch.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you what's the speed. So horsepower, so 180 horsepower.
Yeah, 180. I'd say it's had all the engine bits and bobs. I'm not too 100% on all the specs, but I know it had pocketed pistons, and honestly, the folder's huge. There was no expense spared. 5-speed gearbox.
Just about to say, so 5-speed.
Yeah, 5-speed, because it need it in this really. So it'll sit 70-80 mile an hour. So the only thing it needs now really is an LSD.
Hasn't got an LSD.
Hasn't got an LSD. That would be the next thing, but I say that'll come in time.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a sleeper in a way, isn't it? Because obviously it's quite a luxury spec Escort. It's not your Mexico, it's not your Sport, but it's got one of these engines in. Yeah. Which is quite a nice, unique touch.
Yeah. It's the way everyone's going now. It's just reliability more than anything.
Yeah. So what's the mileage on this engine then?
I think it would be on about 10,000 now with that. I'd say it was. I know it was like a brand new engine. So yeah, I'd say it's ready to. Well, it's got hopefully happily miles in it, but the way it's driven differently.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I was behind you before, and I was following this, and the smell of it and the noise is very good, which you'll find out very, very soon. So we'll crack on the 0 to 60, mate.
Yeah, let's go for it. We'll be spinning one wheel all the way.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. We're not doing a 0 to 60. Obviously, it's just good to showcase a car like this. So obviously, when you upgrade the power, a lot of things come with it because obviously you need bigger stopping force.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Has anything been done to address that?
Well, it's got 4 pots on it, hidden behind them steels, which can't be seen. I'd say it does. To be fair, it does stop well, but it's only light. I think they're like 750 kilograms, if that. So power to weight, very good.
I was going to say, yeah, the power to weight will be very, very good. Cool, mate. Well, that's a nice introduction to this Mk1 Escort. Should we hit the road?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go. First thing, mate.
Yeah.
I've got headrests.
Yeah, you got. I can't really use mine, but yeah.
Ish. Yeah. Which is rare for today.
It certainly is.
These seats aren't standard, are they, though?
No. No, we got some RS seats in it.
RS. Yeah. They're quite comfy, aren't they?
They hold you.
Talk about war!
Yeah. If you can hear us even talking over it.
You'll have to speak a little bit louder, mate.
Yeah.
Wow, what a noise.
Yeah, we've hit the national speed limit now.
We don't talk about that. We always hit the national speed limit, mate. I love classic cars, mate. You can tell it handles well.
Yeah, it is planted.
Yeah.
It's not enough power where it's going to kill you.
No.
Just have a little bit of fun around the bends.
It's neppy though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is what it is.
I feel as if this engine actually suits this car.
Yeah, it sounds period, I think, whereas I think it'd take the characteristics away from it.
Definitely.
It should have a little 1.3, 50 horsepower, if that.
Really?
Engine. I was saying they feel enough in them, really, to have a bit of fun, but this is just...
Yeah, but what you've got a 1300E, no, you've got 1300 yourself.
Sport, yeah, Sport.
So you've got a 1300 Sport Mark II Escort.
Yeah.
We'll have to definitely get that on the channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Why not? Because you've won some awards with that one in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, it's done well, to be fair. It's a bit more of like a show queen, as you'd call it. It's not really a driver.
Yeah.
I say it gets driven, but I can't. If these two are side by side in the garage, and I'm going for a drive up our roads, I'm not going to take a 50 horsepower Escort, am I? I'm going to take one which barks a bit.
Yeah.
As we can hear.
And do you know what, mate? It's got so much character, these cars. Like you've got loads of noises going on. So different to nowadays stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, really. It's a lot of squeaks and rattles, but it's nice to come from like yours, like a 140, and then come into something like this.
Yes.
Get brought back to reality, and then you realise how good they are.
Yeah, but you also realise what cars are lacking from modern day stuff. Come on, let's have it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Wow! Oh, this loves to rev.
Yeah, it feels like it's forever.
I was just about to say, yeah, it feels like that's the red line, and then it keeps on going. Nice, mate. Lovely. And I tell you what, on roads like today, it's not a big car, is it? Like I was in front of you before, and I was looking at my rear view mirror, and it sits perfect on a road.
Yeah, it's the only car I think actually fits in a parking space in modern day, because they don't feel too big, do they?
No.
Every time you get in them, you're jarring out, whereas this, you feel like you can swing the door right away.
So the first thing is we got obviously no powered steering.
No.
Which makes steering feel very pure. So, firstly, the gearbox is lovely and tight, mate.
Yeah.
Now, 5-speed, although it says 4-speed.
Yeah, it's still remaining its original gear knob, but yeah, Sierra 5-speed gearbox.
Sierra 5-speed. Any particular Sierra or just a normal Sierra?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I've just always known them as the Sierra 5-speed. That's the common gearbox.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what, mate? It's so cool to drive, isn't it?
It's different, definitely.
Like, obviously, this isn't our generation, but we can appreciate it, can't you? Because you've grown up around classic Fords with your dad having it, so you've been born into it. Yeah. So it's kind of second nature for you.
Yeah, he's always been stuck in a time warp, as I'd say.
Yeah, whereas my dad, he had BMWs, and that's obviously rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
But I think as you mature and you actually kind of realise what cars are about, you start to appreciate and respect cars of this kind and of this sort a lot more. Like, I quite like the fact you get in it and there's nothing.
Yeah, there is nothing.
It's just you and a car.
Yeah.
Whereas you get in a car nowadays, it's you and a million other computers.
Yeah, I'd say we've only got one in this one ECU for the engine, but one little fuse box. There's nothing what can...
It's simple.
Touch what can go wrong.
Yeah. Let's see how she is through the corners. On powered steering. Beautiful, sir. And she picks up. You can tell it's a light car, can't you? Because
it's all top end.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't take much for it to get going. I know you've got 180 horsepower. Yeah. But it's all in the way, isn't it? Right, so take it all the way to 7,000 then, yeah?
Yeah.
There's no shift light.
No shift light.
Okay.
You'll know when it's time.
I'm sure. Wow.
It's all top end, isn't it?
Christ.
It's scary, isn't it? It feels like you're going to blow it up.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That feels so pure. Right, there we go then, mate. For anyone watching, there's a bit of a blast from the past. In a Mk1 Escort, reviewed by someone in the 20s.
Yeah.
We've had comments before me when we've done videos, and someone said, what do these two know about cars? Why are they taking interest into stuff I had?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Just winging it.
Still are car people.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of fun.
Still appreciate the classics. Yeah, no powered steering, you have to get used to that, don't you? But yeah, Nathan, once again, thank you very much for coming on the channel.
Yeah.
And yes, we've got a bunch of classics to review from your collection. We'll do the 106 GTI next. That'd be good. Bit of a French classic, which I haven't had on the channel before, which will be a good one. And that's, I don't know, that's like on the cusp of becoming a classic, or modern classic, I suppose, now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the turn. It's, well, what is it, 28 years old, mine is now. So, it's 28 years, it's...
Wow. Fair play. Well, Nathan, thank you. And thank you to those who's watched. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.